It's halftime from the women's game. The Trojans taking on Central State, and we're joined now by Trevecca Athletic Director Mark Elliott. Mark, we're in our final year of transition into NCAA Division II. In the past year, we've seen a lot of the NCAA officials come on our campus. What has their suggestion been, and what have they said to our executive staff as we move forward into NCAA Division II athletics?
Yeah, this is our third year, as you mentioned, and the process has been long and pretty arduous. And this fall, because we had to obey all NCAA rules, we had to act like an NCAA Division II program. Instead of coming and judging us on what we'd done so far in the spring, what they did this year was they came early. They came early in the fall as we were setting up the year to make sure that we were obeying all NCAA rules. Our compliance documents, 1,600 pages worth of how we do things here, was what they were really kind of trying to focus in on. What is your documentation? What are your procedures? How do you admit students? How do you financially aid students? How do you register students for eligibility purposes? And so you might not see a lot of differences in our teams and what happens out on the field, but what happens in the back rooms, what happens in the way we prepare and the way we document things, that was the biggest change. And so when they came in the fall, they asked us, show us your documentation. Do you have a procedure for A, for B, for C, etc.? And so that's what they were really looking at. They had about 6 suggestions for us that they asked us to take care of or to clean up some policy procedures, documentations, some forms that would take care of specific NCAA legislation. But they were very pleased with what they saw. We were very pleased that they were pleased. Absolutely. And we felt really good about that visit. Larry Knight, our compliance officer, got to work almost immediately on those, and we had a couple of meetings with our compliance review committee, which has members from all over campus, and we changed some of those policies and procedures to reflect what the suggestions were, and so we were pretty clean with all that. The last thing that occurred was just 2 weeks ago. We had the GMAC commissioner and compliance director come in as a representative of the NCAA. As you know, the NCAA is trying to decentralize a lot of their decision making and inspections and putting that onus on the conferences. And so we had our conference commissioner and compliance director come in as a representative of the NCAA to do a compliance review. Had a really good meeting with them. It was really the second to last thing that occurs in this process, the last of which is the annual report that will be due in June. We will find out, we believe we will find out finally and affirmatively that we are going to be in the NCAA Division II in July.
In terms of our teams competing in the GMAC this season, we've seen a lot of expansion going to West Virginia for the first time. What have you made of all the additions to our conference, and what do you think the future holds for us in the Great Midwest?
Well, as you know, this was a fledgling conference. We started it, and wow, did we not know how much different it would look at the end of the process or in the middle of this process. We didn't expect West Virginia to be a part of it, because as this thing started, it was going to be a Ohio, Kentucky, Tennessee conference. But we needed the expansion. It's sort of like the conference needs us, and we need the conference. And so the presidents of the schools within our conference voted for the expansion because we needed the teams to fulfill our sports sponsorships within the conference. So it's an ongoing process, and we need to make sure that we take care of that. What we are looking for and what we really want to make sure happens is a southern division of the GMAC. That way we don't have to travel necessarily all the time up to Cleveland, Ohio, out to West Virginia. Those are long trips. Conference has been great for us. The footprint is a little bit larger than what we had hoped or what we want, so we'll try to change that.
Here at Trevecca, we've seen a few upgrades. We've got the baseball indoor facility coming up. Softball will be there too. And then our golf teams are going to have a little indoor practice facility. Quickly, what do you make of having those expansions coming to our campus?
Well, it's the first of hopefully many, and we're really proud of A, the lights that we put on the baseball field last year, B, the indoor batting facility that's out at the baseball field for both softball and baseball now, and then also just the golf outdoor hitting tee line that we call out there on the intramural field. yeah, really, it just shows growth. It shows expansion. It shows we're trying to move in a direction where we give our athletes a better chance to compete. And yes, we hope it brings in additional athletes that will help us get better, and then that flywheel gets to spin as we try to get better, and it begets better and begets better, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
Mark, well, we'll catch up with you in part 2 in a little bit later at the men's halftime, but thank you, and we'll catch up with you in a minute.
Thanks, Clayton.
That was Trevecca Athletic Director Mark Elliott. We're going to take a break, but we'll have more from our fantastic AD coming up in between games. Stay with us.